Phoenix. We see on the left there already a pretty scaling composition coming in from JDG. We have the Thresh first pick into the Graves as well as the Jinx. On the side of FPX, it looks like they like to do this. They like to ban out triple junglers and put Tien up on that Volibear in that first pick. With the Tahm Kench there, of course, this could be an indicator of Senna Tahm Kench. Though I do believe the Jinx throws a little bit of a spanner in the works because Jinx does outrange Senna in the early game with her rocket form. And that, of course, allows her to zone and apply pressure. The Senna pick is still being hovered here for the side of FPX. In fact, it is locked in there for LWX as we see on screen. Doesn't look too aesthetic to be playing that champion. Then again, what AD carry ever is, because it's a pretty basic champion. Not really much you can do mechanically, except maybe time your ease perhaps. Anyways, FPX here banning out the Azir, not wanting to give JDG any more of that scaling. JDG, a host of things they can ban out here. They can target the Jace, they can look to take away the Orianna, they can of course take away the Twisted Fate from Doing B. They can also ban out the... oh, Akali's already banned out, never mind. So yeah, it's a lot of things you can ban out, mostly solo lane stuff. I think they should ban out the shared Jace, and then perhaps look into banning... okay, the Ngar ban coming out here. Ngar ban, what does that tell me? I don't know. Ngar is just really a very consistent champion here. He doesn't counter out anybody. Perhaps this is a signal that JDG are looking to try and hop onto that Renekton. FPX might grow wise to that and ban that out. Of course, JDG can also look to ban out the Victor, but at this point, I think the Orianna ban is more appropriate. FPX not wanting to give JDG that solid scaling front line to complement their entire team fight composition, front to back team fight composition, banning out that Sion. Also, Sion's incredibly hard to dive. Honestly, this coming in from FPX, I kind of would like to see, instead of an Azir ban, I kind of would have liked to see a Ornn ban, because if you're gonna ban out the Sion, Ornn is basically that champion. Except maybe he doesn't get as tanky as the game goes on. He doesn't scale infinitely, but he gives you such great CC, such great long range engage from such a safe area, as the Jace is being hovered here from FPX. Like I said before, this is a flex between top and mid. Really, FPX is keeping JDG on their toes. The Gragas is also a great choice, another fantastic tank. And that, like I mentioned, the Ornn coming out. Ornn actually is such a great tank, is pretty safe in lane. In fact, I would argue that Ornn is better than Sion in many ways. He can trade tanks, he can upgrade his price utility for his team. Very safe long range engage without full committal. So the Ornn pick does come in. Can't say I'm particularly surprised. What would round up JDG's composition here in the mid lane? They could go for more scaling, the likes of the Rise. They could go for perhaps some utility, even maybe the Seraphine. I think that wouldn't be bad at all. They've got damage already aplenty, but perhaps something AP like Syndra wouldn't be bad here as well. Zoe is a good pick. Something to snowball the early game, I think, and play around their Graves jungle. Graves, of course, is a pretty exceptional jungle as FPX hovering the Victor as to be expected. That's kind of doing these other go-to. I kind of actually would prefer him to be on one of his more unconventional roaming picks, perhaps even the Kled or the Knot. Maybe, oh, Nocturne has been banned by them already. Actually locking in that Victor, because I don't think you beat scaling with scaling here on the side of FPX. I think conventional mages are not their strong suit so much, you know. I mean, albeit Doing B has gotten better at them without a doubt. But I think as FPX, you know, JDG are known for scaling, known for getting to the late game. FPX, I don't think you try and beat them at their own game. You kind of try and force them into your tempo instead, trying to go for the dives and stuff. Of course, that looks like to be the plan because FPX have the strong side top lane, while JDG have the stronger side bot lane with the push range advantage. Yagao in the mid lane is just going to be looking to push in his lane as well and try and impact the side lanes, mostly bot lane, because I don't think there's too much. Of course, getting Ornn ahead feels good, but there's no point putting too much resources into getting Ornn ahead for the entire game. Now, looking at the teams, I like JDG's composition more, but FPX also have their avenues to play through, and their avenue honestly is mainly top lane. It's just play through top lane, get Jace extremely far ahead. Don't let them scale up towards the late game. So far, members of FPX are not looking too happy with their drafts, I'm gonna be honest. Meanwhile, the bot lane of JDG are looking plenty aesthetic at the potential for just clawing back this game. Now, I will mention, so far, the fan votes have been mostly wrong. Game 1 they were wrong, Game 2 they were right. Game 3, it's in favor of FPX. Now, if I was a superstitious man, I would say that JDG is gonna win this game. off of the fact that FPX are voted by the fans, and only because the fans seem to be getting it wrong this time. Now, although this is a delayed broadcast, and I still don't know who wins this game. I don't know what the score is. I know ultimately FPX does win the series, but I don't know by what score or by what margin. So this could potentially be JDG's game. I will wait and see. Now, looking at the runes, double unseal spellbook coming in from JDG, which emphasizes again, they just want to scale, get to a comfortable point, group together as 5, and just run it down a lane. At that point in time, FPX are really not going to be able to do so very much. Tien needs to kind of get ahead to be that huge tank. Even so, there's tons of damage coming in from JDG and a lot of ways to get over tanks with the Jinx Rocket as well as Yagao's Paddle Stars. Nuguri, I don't think he's going to be contributing too much in the team fight. He kind of needs to do maybe some split pushing or get some flanks going on. JDG's composition really requires Loken to do well in lane. He doesn't need to win lane. He just needs to go even, scale, get to his 3 to 4 items, and really pop off. At which point, if he gets one shot by anything, by the Victor, by the Senna, by the Jace, JDG are in huge trouble because they have a severe lack of damage aside from maybe the Graves. And if Graves doesn't do so well, then, another huge problem. That being said, I quite like this Graves pick. Although the Graves pick was picked relatively early, FPX kind of countered themselves in a way, I think, because the Jace is pretty squishy, as is the Victor, as is the Senna, of course, and it would be like, I'm pretty sure as the game goes on, Graves is just going to be able to get into a much more comfortable position as time goes on to 2 and 3 shot these squishy carries. But I guess we'll see, as Kanavi starts out leashless, wanting to give his lanes as much of an advantage as possible, allowing them to get to lane quicker than their counterparts, especially true in the bottom lane, where Loken and Lovma are going to be able to generate a bit of a lead already in terms of experience, so they can go and try for that level 2 cheese. FPX though, I fully expect them to not fall for that and be able to stabilize the lane without too much issues at all. We see here only 1 million going down on the side of FPX versus the 4 that have already gone down for JDG. Crisp just farming it out as much as he can with his tongue lash, as both junglers are going through their clear. As to be expected, Tien with his leash is actually able to clear slightly faster than Kanavi, but I don't think this is going to change very much. Kanavi is, for the early game for JDG, Kanavi is the main point that you want to see. He's going to be where JDG are looking to make plays around, and Kanavi is most definitely looking to want to make plays around the bot side of the map. They've got so much prio, they've got so much range. Tien kind of needs to be careful. I think, see, he needs to balance farming as well, farming and defending his jungle as well as proactive plays, because if you just sit back, eventually the Graves invades are going to come in, and eventually you're going to see your jungle get taken away. Your bot lane's not going to be able to come help you. Your mid lane also at this point in time is not going to be able to help you. See, Yagao is pushing in, doing B without much problem whatsoever, and if you look at the mana bars, really no problem at all, as Tien, having cleared up most of his jungle, is looking to perhaps look for a dive here. 4 minion dive, already the minion wave has crashed. I think he's a little bit too late for this one. They could try and brute force it, but Zoom is this about as squishy as he's ever going to be. He spotted out. Kanavi's nowhere in the area. Tien coming out of the bush and then stepping back in, perhaps trying to give Zoom some false impression. I'm not going to lie, with the item being built, a little bit more health coming in, I think Zoom is looking to be Dovin here. This is the easiest time for him to dive, but I think he's going to be able to survive this. It really depends on how they play. As Tien comes in with the stun, Zoom flashes over the lightning. Actually, Tien flashing over the headbutt stun, but 3B flashing away. One more tower hit was going to kill Tien. Tien's dead. Nuguri's dead to minutes too. A beautiful 2 kills going over to Zoom. I cannot believe it. That was exceptional. That was exceptional. That was actually exceptional. I'm telling you right now, I don't think Sion would have been able to do that. That's why Ornn is the superior top lane scaling champion. Even has TP, will be able to get back to lane and not lose out on too much at all. Tien, this is disastrous, and we see Kanavi is already walking towards the bot side. Zoom here. So Tien actually not even having to flash, getting the stun off, and then the lightning is dodged by Zoom, who uses his headbutt onto wall, but Tien flashes over that. At that point in time, the tower damage has stacked up so much that Nuguri tanks 2 tower shots and dies to minions, while Tien tanks another 2 and just dies to that. And Zoom this whole time just trying to dance around and run away. We see here that bot priority for the side of JDG coming in super handy. Kanavi, as soon as Tien died, walking straight into the jungle, trying his best to contest. Tien still at level 3, Kanavi at level 4.5. Tian already falling significantly behind, and Kanavi, if you give this man that much control of your jungle, if you help him leash Gromp like this, it is surely over for you. Kanavi does have Smite, and there's no way he's losing this, considering he does have the level lead as well. Kanavi looking to pillage away the rest. I think Tian should just move on to the top side of his jungle. I think this is all kind of pointless. Now, for this Wolves, he could contest it because he does have Smite, but this is kind of pointless. Why would you want to contest this? The bot lane, okay, he doesn't know that Jinx is gone, but the bot lane could potentially be here, and Tian actually looking to fight out Kanavi. Smite coming down, giving Tian level 4, but Yagao is in the area faster than Doing B is, as is Love Mao. Love Mao is miles ahead of Crisp, and Tian gets hit up by the death sentence, which brings him into the Sleepy Trouble bubble and into the Paddle Star, and there we go. Tian is actually being set so far behind, which is not even the bad thing. The bad thing is that he's allowing Kanavi to be brought ahead, and Kanavi with that Graves pick is actually going to be a huge threat. Like I said, JDG might suffer from a bit of a lack of damage, especially, Zoe. Not a fan personally of Zoe because I feel like she can be rendered quite useless if it doesn't hit Paddle Stars. But Yaga in game 1 has been exceptional. But back to the Kanavi Graves pick. Kanavi on Graves against this mostly squishy composition can actually pop off and do tons of damage. So Tian really shouldn't be. It's not so bad that he's falling behind because again he's going to be a tank, but it's bad that he's bringing Kanavi ahead. Already, Kanavi 12 CS up, 3 camps up on the jungler of FPX. And in the bot side here, it looks like LWX and Crisp aren't really having the time of their lives either. It's to be expected, of course, that the Tahm Kench has less CS than the enemy AD carry. Doing B just dropping his Chaos Storm here. Looks to be just for zoning. It doesn't look like he intends on actually trying to pick up a kill with that. Not quite sure why. Maybe he's trying to get a recall off. He is, of course, exceptionally low on mana. Doing B, it seems like every time he plays Mages, he gets really low on mana, which means that the blue buff could be a point of contestation, especially now considering Kanavi does have the stronger bot lane, does have the pushing mid lane that requires less mana. As Love Mao has roamed up here, does Doing B? No, it doesn't really look like it. He does have Flash, however, as well as Phase Rush and enough mana to proc it, but Kanavi coming in from the top side as well. Looks like JDG just want to clear out the mid wave and perhaps try and rotate Yaga up to the blue buff and give it over to him. Of course, blue buff is a huge huge spike there for the Zoe as well, allows her to push in the waves truly without using mana. Zoe also quite a mana intensive champion. Cull coming in here for Nuguri, managing to take about 39 stacks so far. It looks like at this point he's lost hope in trying to dive out Zoom, and in fact is now just looking to try and farm up as best as he can, get his mana muni, and perhaps try to contribute later in team fights, which again is kind of suspicious because JDG most definitely wins late game team fights. Love Mao hitting the death sentence, a little bit of Senna Thresh action going on just like in the lore, but Kanavi hopping in from over the wall. Crisp is in the area to body block the shots, however, luckily for LWX, because even though Kanavi maybe couldn't one-shot him just yet, I think he could get awfully close to 5 or 6 shotting him, as Love Mao hooking Tahm Kench out of the air, not trying to flay him over the wall. Kanavi was in the area as well, and again, they're looking for the invades. Blue buff has already been taken, thankfully, by Tian. Did he give it over to Doing B? I didn't really see. I was watching the events unfold on screen, so I couldn't really tell. FPX's bot lane here, if I was suspicious, would say look like they could be Doven, but JDG opting to go for the Dragon instead, not really losing too much tempo at all, considering they've managed to crash both mid and bot wave. In the top side, Nuguri is actually not generating as much of a lead as he needs to. Jace pick means you gotta generate a lead in the early game as much as possible. But already, with Tian so far behind and LWX actually so low, Love Mao stepping up, hitting the death sentence, Crisp having to eat him and throw him out in a safe distance. Thankfully for LWX, Crisp was in the area. Crisp still has cleanse. All 4 summoner spells still available for both champions as Kanavi rounds the corner. LWX is blinded by the smoke screen. Yagao coming in as well. Crisp does have cleanse heal coming in from LWX. Cleanse coming out as Sleepy Trouble Bumble comes in. And a good disengage here from the bot side of FPX. But again, JDG, this is a win because they just want to get their Jinx ahead. They just want to get their main carry for late game team fights up to the speed they need to. Zoom using his ultimate, realizing that his team has shown completely in the bot side. It means that he most likely will get Doven. As Tian coming in here as well. Could this be a disastrous dive as the tower gets turned off now by Tian? No need to worry about the damage coming in. Doing B running the corner as well. Who is this kill going to go over to? I think Doing B on Nuguri would be a better pick. Tian leaving the area, realizing that is fact. Oh, Nuguri, perfect tower dive coming in here. The potion actually saving him from potential death. Teleport is not available for either top laner. And okay, I like what Zoom was doing there. He saw that his team was trying to make a play bot side, 4 members of his team showing, and not realizing that there was no presence at all of the enemy in the bot side, trying to pop his ultimate to clear the waves as best as he can, and having to tank up Nuguri for a little bit. Tien then, in return, realizing what Zoom was trying to do, actually forcing himself to tank the tower. And this time, Zoom didn't have the tower to back him up for the most part of it, because Volibear was there to turn off the tower. You know, I like this coming in from FPX. I feel like this is a trend I've seen in the past game or two, where they ban out all the junglers and then they give Volibear over to Tien so that he can facilitate these fantastic tower dives. When he hits 6, it's like a confirmed tower dive. It's almost, I would say it's almost like an Elise level of tower dive coming in there. In fact, it's much better because Elise might still stack the tower damage, but you know, Tien just turns it off for definitely long. You pick a top laner that does damage and then put the Volibear in the jungle. He comes in, provides the CC with the slows from his thunder as well as the stuns from his Q, and then just turns off the tower. Bada bing, bada boom. Your enemy top lane is almost guaranteed to die. And if Doing B rotates up as well, even more damage, even more potential CC coming down. It's truly perfect. Now, that being said, FPX's early game hasn't gone as well as they would have liked to, by sure. That level 3 or 4 dive coming in on the top side, not what they want. Kanavi is looking again to invade the jungle. Could potentially look for a dive here as Yagao is walking down as well. Looks like the bot lane of FPX are none the wiser as they are completely surrounded. They have no clue whatsoever. Crisp is going to be the only point of safety available in this. Oh, never mind. I thought JDG would definitely go for the dive down there, but I suppose Kanavi just wanting to get ahead the slow and steady way, get some natural advantages as much as possible. Just trying to get through the basics and out farm the jungler of FPX as Rift Herald is dropped in the mid lane to chunk out the tower. Doing be getting some of that gold as well as Tien. Kanavi rounding the area from the bot side of the map, probably raising awareness of FPX jungler that his bot side jungle is completely taken. Zoom now is clearing out the waves pretty easily. They're not really taking much damage from Nuguri. Nuguri with his tier and his rated, it's kind of to be expected at this point in time. Needs to complete his mana mini and get that fully stacked before he starts doing damage again to the Ornn. Of course, if Zoom just stands in front of him and tries to tank the wave, Nuguri can get some good damage on. And again, Zoom is not, he's not immune to getting tower dove at this point in time. Admittedly, it's going to get harder and harder considering he's already finished his mythic item. He's already starting to use his passive and get the additional tankiness already. But all things considered, LWX lots of good damage coming down. Now the range advantage is in favor of LWX. If I'm not mistaken, he's kind of matched the range of Loken right now at 50 stacks. At 60 stacks, I think he outranges her fully even in rocket form, which is of course a potential, worry for the side of JDG. But again, with this long range engage that you get from the Thresh as well as the Ornn, it's not too much of a concern because Senna, again, not very mobile. And the Ornn Horn kind of knocks out both Crisp and LWX and can't be cleansed anyway. So even if Crisp eats LWX, there's still potential that he gets CC'd as well as LWX. And in the end, LWX can't hide in there forever as Doing B gets hit up by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, steps into the bush, about to take a paddle start to the face, chunking him to half HP. Yagao, unfortunately, this time is the one who's low on mana, but does have teleport and can use it to get back into lane. 15 seconds now for Dragon to spawn, and FPX make the call to try and make a play up in the top side, but with the double recalls being channeled, doesn't look to be the case. Zoom, kind of sensing something, walks in and then... Oh, I thought I was going to walk into the tribe bush, honestly. Okay, so far, I think things are going JDG's way because FPX haven't gotten the leads. They want to get through the top side in the first 13 minutes of the game, and so far JDG have most definitely acquired themselves a lead in the bot side. Let's see, Loken is still chunked half HP, doesn't have very much to heal himself with aside from perhaps his runes. I'm pretty sure he's gone lifesteal there. We can see it working now for him. Kanavi sliding into the dragon pit. Has no idea. LWX actually is the one who's got no idea how much danger he is in as the collateral damage comes. The end of the line comes in and really marks the end of the line for LWX as he was there. 2 seconds later, he was gone. LWX actually was in a terrible position as Yaga was above him and the bot side of JDG, having acquired their priority again, was below him. He only had really one way to go, and that was an expedited recall back to the fountain with grey screen as well. Kanavi now just clearing out the second dragon of the game. JDG now sieging out the bot side. Chris can do nothing but watch as the minions even start dying to tower. He really is just here to soak up the XP as best he can and perhaps try and defend his tower a little bit. Okay, see, things are really going JDG's way because JDG scaling comp, when you have the dragons, means that you don't have the pressure. Now FPX have the pressure to fight into you. Now FPX might get, might spike in the mid game, but JDG for the next 10 minutes or for the next two dragons can honestly, even three, can opt to not even fight for them. Can opt to just pick up waves, get wins on the opposite side of the map. They've already almost sieged down bot tower. They can give up next dragon for a top tower and then stay in the mid lane, just soak up XP wave after wave after wave. Zoom at level 11, 2 more levels till he gets his own upgrade, and 3 more until he can upgrade his ally teammate. Let's see, can FPX bring it back from this point? Of course they can, as Doing B is doing exceptionally well in lane as well. Slightly ahead in CS, actually is quite equal, but what matters is in terms of items and upgrades, he's doing well. He gets hit by Sleepy Trouble, but as well gets nailed by the Petal Star as he flashes away from the collateral damage, I'm sorry. Nuguri is behind the tower, actually trying to just destroy it. Zoom now having to use his spells on him rather than the wave. So Nuguri here doing well. He's forcing Zoom to use spells on him rather than the wave, but is potentially going to get surrounded if Yaga we see here walking up in lane as well. But Ken is here as well. Could this be a dive? Yaga could come in and clear this up, but it looks like FPX, their main interest is actually going for the tower. And the call is being made. Tower, actually, first tower going down on the side of FPX in the top side. So a fantastic play there. A little bit of goal getting them back into the game. As we see from the goal lead, JDG is just slightly ahead. But the thing is that with being just slightly ahead on a team comp that scales, you are actually massively ahead. Kanavi now with that Gale Force is going to be able to one-shot LWX Doing B and Nuguri all that little bit faster. As well as perhaps try and kite away from Doing B's Chaos Storm and Gravity Field. Now, as there's a small lull in the action for now, I'm just going to take a quick swig of water. FPX by no means are out of this game. Tien is exceptionally, extraordinarily, and astoundingly behind, which is going to make contesting objectives extremely hard. So JDG can afford to give it up, but might not even have to at this point in time, because Kanavi, with the burst he gets from the end of the line, as well as collateral damage, as well as the mobility he gets from his E, really, it's kind of hard to keep a Graves out of your objectives, as Tien is now shadowing Nuguri, trying to get as much pressure on the map as possible. Nuguri getting the second tower now, looks like almost for the side of FPX. Zoom with a good ward, spotting out Tien, actually using his charge away from the Ravenous Bear. Tien doing this is good, giving his team advantages and stuff, but still, Kanavi is just getting ever further ahead. He's clearing out parts of the map that Tien is not on. And Tien is just spitting experience with his top laner. That being, I mean, they're doing the best they can. So things are looking very grim now for FPX, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'll be very surprised if they can win this, but a dive is coming in. Looks like they actually just want the tower, but they could potentially be punished for this as Onhorn coming in. Here comes the rep. 4-man knockup coming in as Love Mao flays back. Doing B who appears amongst 4 people. Chris has been hooked back into his team and is left to dry. Double kill going over to the side of Kanavi, and that teleport coming in from Doing B might be considered extremely int as he teleported straight on top of a Thresh. A Flay coming in as well. Death Sentence not even required, was used onto Crisp instead of him, and just like that, mid tower is traded back onto the side of JDG, and you're gonna get a second charge off. They might even get the second tower because the damage is all here. All members of JDG are pretty much in the area. Yaga skipping up to his top side while Kanavi clears out more of Tien's jungle, setting himself even further ahead. LWS needs to flash this. There we go. As the Chompers and Death Sentence miss him by a pixel. As Tien is coming in, gets a stun out to Loken, but the lantern is there. Kanavi is not coming to save them. And looks like that's all that really JDG, they've got the disengage, they've got the engage, they've got the team fight, they've got everything. See, Loken was taken pretty low there, and if Doing B was in the area, Loken was 100% dead. So, FPX, things are looking exceptionally grim, but they can still win this. They have the avenues of the team fight. They can poke them down a bit. They do have a little bit of a sustain with the Senna, of course. They've got the poke with the Jace as well as the Victor, and they've got the hard engage technically of the Tien with that flash stun. If he gets a flash stun on down to Loken, layer that with the gravity field, 100% sure Loken is dead if anyone can get on top of him. As we see here, coming around, looks like they were threatening a dive, but in fact they were actually just going for the tower, and a beautiful 4-man Ornhorn coming in here. Boom! And then Doing B teleporting in, Love Mount instantly flaying him back and throwing the death sentence onto Chris, who saved up Nuguri. Cleanse coming in from Chris, but at it is not enough to save him, as that fight went completely in favor of JDG. And as we see here, FPX, they can just take the dragon. JDG can just afford to give them this dragon, can afford to give them the next dragon. And as we say, Loken now is in the top side, being shadowed there by Love Mao. JDG playing this exceptionally well. I think they're macroing exceptionally. They know if we start stacking dragons with a stronger jungler in the early game, we're set to get more gold onto this star AD carry of JDG. And he's completely protected. He's got Thresh waiting around. He's got wards in the topside jungle. They can potentially try and push this too. Looks like Kanavi is coming up as well. Yaga, after pushing out mid wave, could potentially come up as well. The camps are spawning in the top side. That's what Kanavi is really interested in. JDG just playing around their strongest piece, playing around their queen right now. Meanwhile, FPX Nuguri is in the bot side, kind of has to back off, has no clue at all where the members of JDG are, doesn't know that most of them are staying up in that top side as FPX's doing B is joining Tian in the jungle, as well as Crisp trying to clear as much of the jungle as possible. Crisp stealing away his own red buff as Tian trying to get even his raptors by being stolen away by Kanavi. The only one really profiting from that was LWX for the side of FPX, taking some of those souls as Tian, really everything on his side of the map is gone. What can he do now but try and look to Shadow doing B? But he doesn't know that he's really trotted on a ward. JDG know exactly where he is, feel exceptionally safe in every other lane. And we see here JDG Loken already one level up on both bot laners. Yagao really hasn't done too much this game, but that's all he needs to do. He could look to, make plays across the map, could look to roam, but doesn't need to. He just needs to keep doing B in the mid lane, provide some damage later on, provide some potential one-shot. Because again, FPX is a squishy team, so even the Zoe, she could swing from being game-changing pedal star hitting or useless. Now, Loken is stepping up quite far but does have the Lantern to bring him away to safety as the rest of JDG enters the fray as well. Nuguri is back in base, no split push going on here. JDG, in my opinion, look to be in a very winning position. That being said, doing B is starting to do damage now, has finished his Seraph's Embrace. Yaga with his blue buff mean that this is going to be an endless sieging situation as LWX steps really far forward. Oh, Zoom seeing a potential to get in on him. Actually, he's getting traded tons of damage forward, but yet again, the Lantern coming in Yaga as he misses another pedal star. I wouldn't be too mad to see Nuguri teleport towards the bot side and try and get some work done here. Now Zoom has been chunked out, which signals to JDG that they do not want to continue pressuring this at all. They want to now go back to pillaging what they have of FPX's jungle. See, again, this is smart play. They're slowly suffocating FPX and slowly generating leads by themselves. Because you take away the enemy's jungle, you clear your own jungle, you push out the waves, you're already getting technically one more revenue source than the jungler of FPX, than the other laners of FPX, because it's the laners who are clearing out the jungle. As we see here, Yaga actually realizing he's in potential bit of trouble in the jungle, spots out Nuguri with his ultimate, and then Tian is in the area, actually finally getting himself a little bit of a win, stealing away a bit of a grump, but he is now 80 CS behind. Oh my goody goods, that is really That's exceptionally unfortunate here. I don't see how if Kanavi and Tian are contesting the same objective, I do not see how Tian is ever going to be able to win that contest. At this point in time, being 2 items up to 1 item, I'm pretty sure Kanavi can shred Tian as well. I don't think Tian is tanky enough to be able to stand face to face, toe to toe with this shotgun wielding, cigar smoking Kanavi, as a teleport is coming in the mid lane from, is that Yaga or Zoom? I think that's Yaga. Just joining up his team. They could look to contest Baron, honestly, with the damage coming in from the Jinx as well as the Graves. It would really be done in short time, but Nuguri is actually kind of stopping them from doing that by split pushing the side wave. But little does he know he's completely surrendered now, as in comes Loken as well as Love Mao and Kanavi. He is completely dead here. He could potentially try and get some damage onto Zoom, potentially get a solo kill here. Bah! But the rocket coming in there from Loken, actually making that an impossible outcome. That rocket did tons of damage. Loken is at 2.5 items and really seems quite close, 2 items away from completing out his Infinity Edge as FPX enter the topside river, just looking to clear as much vision as possible. Water Drake is spawning in 40 seconds and looks like JDG are the ones in position to take that. I don't see a contest coming in here from FPX. There's no way you win a 4v5. You got no side wave pressure. Zoom does have teleport as, oh my goodness, LWS, what happened? Oh my god, forced to use heal and flash out from that. Love Mao using his sweeper, didn't have vision of that, just seeing the outline of the Senna and using his flame. And right next to him was Loken, free hitting LWX already. At 2.5 items, Loken nearly 3-shotted LWX, and this could mark potential danger for the side of FPX already. the resources that they need to be using to make plays are actually being used defensively, which is again exactly what you see from JDG. JDG full control of the bot side of the map means that they will definitely get this dragon. It is sole point now for JDG, and FPX can do little but to watch as it goes down. Loken has gained 3 levels up on LWX. Are you kidding me? What has happened? He's even had his Kraken Slayer upgraded now. Zoom, his effects are starting to kick in. First upgrading the Jinx, probably next upgrading Yagao or maybe Kanavi. This is looking pretty bad. I'm super okay. Loken, I like the rapid fire cannon build here because you want to out damage the Jinx. You want to try and match the range as much as you can of the Senna, because in AD carry fights it's really about which AD carry gets the first auto off. That being said, I don't think he's got too much to worry about because I don't foresee a 1v1 duel coming in here from the AD carries as Yagao throwing out Sleepy Trouble thinking he's safe, but teleport coming in here from doing B as Nuguri is in the air as well. Chris jumping in as well with Tien. Yagao trying to flash out this using his stopwatch, but unfortunately there's 4 members on top of him as well. JDG have 4 members here. LWX is on the flag. I don't know if a flanking AD carry is the way you want to go though, and the call is made here by FPX to go for this Baron. The question is, I think JDG have more than enough to contest this. 4v5 is nothing new in the LPL. They still have their front line. They still have their high damage Jinx. Does Jinx have Infinity Edge? If she does, this could potentially be the fight to break open the game as Tien taking 1 rocket to the face. Tons of damage coming down. Here comes the call of the Forge God, knocking out 1 character. Nuguri is kind of chunked as well. Kanavi's over the wall, 3 levels up on him. There's no way he doesn't steal this income. Kanavi, they jump on him, but he still takes the Baron buff as Ornn is in the pit. Lovemao and Loken are zoned from the fight, but in come as soon as the rockets come coming in, Chris is saving up Elders as best he can, but Kanavi is actually the bigger threat, taking 2 kills for himself. Collector is coming in. Here comes Loken with the damage onto doing B, and Chris looks to be going down to Loken as well. I perhaps told a lie, but Kanavi is stepping in. Quadra kill coming in for Kanavi. I cannot believe this. Kanavi came up huge with that Quadra on top of the Baron. I think that's game. I think that's actually game. If the game isn't over here, it's, I think, irreversibly in favor of JDG. Kanavi, I don't know about that call coming from FPX. They had no vision coming in on that Graves. Didn't know he was over the wall. And then the rest of JDG just coming from a different angle, splitting the focus. And although Kanavi did jump in slightly early and FPX did try to jump him, he has the end of the line. He does have collateral damage. He has a smite that was at the time 3 levels up on Tien. Now it's going to be 4. There was no way he didn't steal that. If Tien got that Baron, he is truly the best jungler in the world. Because look at this, they have no vision on Kanavi, only realize he's there because of the smoke screen, and when he jumps over, they try and jump him, but by trying to jump him, their AoE actually hits the Baron, and then Ornn comes in to just disrupt the backline. Chris has to run back and eat his AD carry. Meanwhile, Loken was being zoned very well in that fight, but as soon as he could start shooting, doing B instantly goes down. We see here, boom, 3-shotted, and Chris here is left to hang and dry. The rest of his team is gone. Kanavi doing so much damage. Boom. We see the Collector, extra 25 gold coming in there. Honestly, the Collector is probably cashing in really well here for why am I forgetting his name here? Come on, bro. For Kanavi. Because, I mean, he's 7-0, and oh my goodness, doing B caught out in the bot side. Oh my goodness. Actually somehow sidestepping the collateral damage, but won't be able to sidestep the call of the Forge God. Somehow survives that as LWX stepping forward into a Sleepy Trouble bubble to try and get his heal off. Yeah, oh my goodness. FPX is actually trading on the other side of the map with Nuguri. So far, they've lost their mid lane inhibitor, but they've actually managed to get a tower, and they're sieging the opposite side of the map faster than the members of JDG are. Zoom is forced to recall to try and try and stop Nuguri from taking the rest of this base. I like this coming in from FPX. There's still a bit of a fight left in them, but 4v4 situation, this is not so bad. They don't have that long range engaged tank. They don't have their super tank Ornn in the front here, as all Nuguri needs to do, honestly, to contribute in this fight is to just distract the Ornn. But Loken running forward with his Get Excited, getting shots off onto the remaining members of FPX. We see here on the bottom side of the screen, Nuguri is actually just going for the inhibitor, actually doing tons of damage too. Zoom could be a bit of trouble potentially, as the remaining members of JDG are trying to end out the game. Already auto attacks ringing out, death sentence being thrown out. Yagao steps forward, and Loken is, oh my god, 1 rocket bringing down half HP. But on the opposite side of the map, Zoom taking out Nuguri, Logan stepping a little bit far forward. I think he should watch out. His team is leaving. Why is he so far forward? It's flashed on by Tien as the Dawning Shadow comes in. Tien jumps in as well, but Logan is kiting back perfectly. Box coming out as well as the Flay coming in from Lovemar, actually saving him. Chris tanking up taking up the Super Mega Death Rocket, but last auto attack coming in from both Elderblacks and Logan. Trading damage. Yagao gets flashed on by the Tongue Lash and is taken out. Triple kill going over to the side of Chris. I don't think that's where you want to go for the side of FPX, but what can I say? I suppose a hold is a hold. And Zoom, if he had teleport there, this is 100% game over. But thankfully for FPX, Nuguri making big plays there, and FPX look to stall out the Dragon Soul for another 5 more minutes. After winning their fight, they get a consolation prize as well as, I mean, I call that a huge victory, honestly, as they're gonna get this dragon. Again though, Kanavi, 4 levels up on Tien, does not have flash, but has collateral damage, has another line, could potentially steal this and make it over the wall. However, doesn't want to because he is again worth a lot of gold. He's worth 1,000 gold. I think in terms of money, he is worth more than... Oh, jumping off the wall, this could be it, Never mind. He's worth more than Dragon. I think if they gave up Dragon and gave up Kanavi, then FPX could potentially mount something of a comeback, because Doing B already has 3 items. We see here Logan, his team is stepping back and he's stepping forward. Tien seeing this, flashes on him, lands the pause, and then the Dawning Shadow coming out as well as Tien's ultimate, but Lovemar doing the best he can to play bodyguard. And we see here Logan and Elderblacks dueling it out. Logan solo HP, still 3-shotting Elderblacks as the last auto attack comes in from Logan following his flash, and then the Tongue Lash coming in from Chris is what secures the kill on Yaga as well as Logan being put to sleep there. I mean, Crisp, as tanky as he tries to be, you'll never be able to out-tank the raw damage coming in here from Logan, who's even gotten a Knight's Vow coming in from Zoom. Really, everything is being put onto this AD carry for JDG, and all FPX needs to do is one-shot him, but he's got so much safety. He has the Thresh Box, the Thresh Flay, he's got the Knight's Vow, he's got the super tanky Zoom in front of him. Now, again, Nuguri in the bot side trying his best to get as much done as possible, is pressuring JDG to step forward, using as much as they can. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Call of the Forge God coming in here with the next wave. Nuguri needs to try and push that as fast as he can, and he's doing as best as he can. FPX just need to try and hold this out as much as possible, give their top laner the time to do things. As we hear, the Chaos Storm is dropped here. Here comes Call of Forge God. Chris saving up his mid laner as JDG are stepping for Zoom, using the chem tank to try and get as much as he can. But again, Nuguri is trading towers so well. 6 towers to 9. But, you know, Nuguri is for sure bringing his team back into the game. Looks like he's going to get another one. It's going to be 7 towers to 9. Will Nuguri even be able to get this bottom side inhibitor? But the thing is that he needs to worry. I think Yaga, he was channeling his recall. And Nuguri is just going to get this inhibitor without any repercussions. Going to stroll out of the game, popping his Yomuns and running out ever so quickly. Fantastic plays coming in here for FPX. Actually, Nuguri and all the macro coming in. I don't know who the shot caller is for the side of FPX. Could be Doing B, could be Nuguri, could be either one of them, could be any one of them. And I think they're doing exceptionally well. Nuguri needs to be careful here. If he steps out of the bush too far, he needs to realize that there are 2 members of the team in the area. And the Call of the Forge God is almost up on cooldown as well. Zoom using his blue trinket signals to me that he's definitely going to use it. And here it comes. But Chris is nearby. Can use his ultimate to catch up. In comes the ultimate and outruns Zoom. Little did he know, however, it was just a 1v1 as Doing Me jumping in as well. Jumps in onto Yaga as much as he can. Zoom is tanking up 3 members as he can, but the rest of the team is here. Logan is here. Lovemount is here. Zoom is so tanky. Nearly gets taken down. Dawning Shadow coming in, now doing enough damage. Doing B actually being thrown in and helping to finish him off, flashing out of the fight. This could be it. This could actually be the game for FPX as here comes the flank coming in. Yagao is taken down, as is Logan. This could be the end of the game. Tien is tanking up, but Kanavi is in the area, throws the bullet. A critical damage coming in, flashing in to try and finish off Tien, and he's going in for Elderblacks as well. Crisp is going to be taken down, and Kanavi, oh my god, going huge. Actually, okay, that was the fight going. That was the game going to FPX. Straight up, that was the game going over to FPX. And then that was Kanavi going in, down, stooping down into the mud, and just stealing the game back from the members of FPX. Nuguri, I thought he was inting, and then when I saw Chris come in and I saw the chem tank, I was like, why would you do that? And I saw the teleport coming in from Doing B. Yagao got chunked to half. Zoom just, okay, here we go. So Yagao instantly gets chunked to half. Nuguri somehow stepping past the Sleepy Trouble bubble, and then Zoom is left in a 1v3 moment. When I saw Logan turn the corner, I thought this was it for the members of FPX. It's a 3v4 currently, and then damage coming in. Chris actually exceptionally tanky, and Zoom actually getting finished off by Doing B, who was flayed into his team. Lovemount trying to walk forward, actually nearly gets taken out, and then Logan stuck in this area. In comes Elderblacks taking out Yagao. Yagao, Tian. Oh my god, beautiful engage coming in. And Kanavi, how does he thread this bullet? Actually just gets doing B, and then realizing he needs to make a play here, jumps in onto Tian, slides away, and then Gale forces into LWX, forcing Crisp to eat him, and then Crisp, no defenses for himself, is also taken out by Kanavi. LWX just barely escaping with his life. Now FPX trying to take away the Baron. Looks like they'll be able to get it, if I'm going to be honest. Again, that bot side pressure as well as allowing them, that bot side pressure created by Nuguri, the Super Mega Death Walker comes in, gets tanked by Crisp completely, and JDG now could be looking to catch on here. Kanavi sliding over the wall. Tian is in the area. Oh my god, Call Forge getting 2. Kanavi trying to one-shot LWX, but E coming in from Crisp actually is enough. Crisp and Doing B are quite deep though. Oh my god, there goes Crisp. They need to try and get away from this as much as they can. Doing B needs to run away. Phase Rush helping him escape. Is he gonna get away? No, he isn't. Kanavi shoots him down. Nuguri is teleporting towards the bot side. He knows he needs to start pressuring LWX. Frost the Flash. The Zap coming in. Doesn't manage to get him. 2-man hold against 5 members of JDG. I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it. I think this is the end of the game. JDG, I think they are completely going to win this because 2 members of JDG are in the bot side. Perhaps this is enough. Perhaps Nuguri has done enough, pulling 2 members away from him, channeling his recall right now, but the teleport is coming in. This is Yagao. This is not Zoom. And Tian flashing in, trying to get Kanavi. Kanavi is as much of a threat as Loken is at this point, but Loken not being completely ignored, actually just free hitting, and the game is going over. Loken dukes up 3-man going his way, and the series continues. In fact, one might argue the series has started now with JDG getting 1 on the board. Okay, it's not going to be a 3-0. There's not going to be a stomp here coming in from FPX. Unbelievable plays coming in. Kanavi playing out of his mind. Loken doing exceptionally well. The remaining members of JDG doing exactly what they need to do. Don't get me wrong. Everyone played their part. I'm just highlighting the ones who made the flashy plays. Because, again, Zoom with the ability to kill Nuguri, and then Yaga with the paddle stars coming in, and the long, and of course the peel coming in there from the Thresh of Love Mao. Just simply perfect. Just allowing Loken to run forward, to be fearless. Of course he got punished a couple times, but you know, in the end, it was still all good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!